Yeah, hey everyone, also from me, warm welcome. Um, the good thing is everything that I've been hearing from Tanya and from Zupran is basically also what we have been experiencing, so that's already a good sign. Yeah, so when we think about AI and how this all will transform our way of interacting with customers, it's quite obvious that we are heading into a world where obviously autonomy is going to be a key driver. I did hear that already from Tanya that, it helps you to automate things. But I was also glad to hear from you, Sibrand, that also the personal interaction is still a key driver and still is going to be necessary in order to do business with customers. But obviously, if you just look around, I mean, it's happening right now, whether it's automation, on the floor, or around us when it comes down to cars or delivery services or just, the platforms that we all are picking up and starting to use. Tanya, you mentioned already Copilot from Microsoft, I think, or whether it's, just platforms like ChatGPT, that most likely everybody has come across already. But what we do recommend is always to also look beyond the horizon and look, okay, where is it all heading? And I just came across a super recent study from an analyst company from last week, where they basically see the trends with regards to AI and automation going. And what is important there is basically for us, okay, what's next? What's around the corner? And obviously, it's definitely going to go into a world where agents or AI agents will become more and more important. Um, and those agents, they can take over various roles and parts, of your business and support you there. But the next step will be even more advanced, and that will be that those agents start to interact with each other, whether it's within your own company to create maybe campaigns or create content, but it can also then go into the procurement process at some point in time. So we definitely also have to watch that. Um, so um, Obviously, with all this complexity, it's then also important that, we get this multi-hybrid world also working and speaking to each other. And also the models, they just become more and more complex. So there will be also the trend towards smaller models and smaller agents that basically then focus more on single tasks that they can perform, but then do it better. Um, We did see that already coming. Basically, when you may just have come across that slide deck or the slide from us prior to that call, but I think the news for us is it's happening now. It's not going to happen in a year or 2 or 3 years or 5 years from now. Um, the move from just smart connections or personalized connections to your customers towards a more autonomous world, it's really around the corner. It's probably maybe not next week, but if you can start now, it's definitely going to be beneficial for you. um, so Speaking of those agents, what can they do? What will they do? What are typical tasks that they can take over? And I was quite happy to see, I think it was super on your slides, where you said, okay, where could you apply AI? And Tanya, you mentioned already also some pieces. I think it was on the content side, but it will be basically everything um, that is a task where you either run into a shortage from personal point of view, or where it can increase your efficiency. Um, but technically, I think it can be everything, and it really comes down towards your individual needs, where it makes the most sense for you. And this is also what what our recommendation would be, and I did hear that already from you, Tanya, that it's so critical to go into your teams and really look into that, what makes the most sense for you and at what time. Yeah, but technically, that is what you can see. Um, what we already came across working with agents for our own organization, but also thinking about applying agents to our platform is obviously that AI is only as good as the data it's based on and also the data that it has access to. So we were hearing earlier that it's also important that you talk about, of course, privacy rules and data protection. But in order to get an agent up and running, you have to enable them so that it can actually know about things and do things. And this data is key. So the first thing definitely is start thinking about unifying your data estates and providing this data access to your any kind of your AI tools that you may want to apply. And then it's really up to you whether you want to go into training your own models or whether you want to go with some of the existing models in order to build your solutions. Um, how that can look like, it's totally unique towards your own environment and basically IT landscape. So Tanya already mentioned that for her it's total key to have a close connection towards the IT. But when you look at this, this is just an example that I just brought today from Microsoft, how they look at this. But data is not always in a database. Sometimes it's as easy as it's hidden in spreadsheets, or sometimes it's not even hidden in spreadsheets or not even digitalized. So I was seeing that, I think also from you, Suprant, that sometimes it may be, applying AI to digitalize the data that is already there to put it into a form so that it can be used. What you can expect from us, from the Intershop side, and Niels will deep dive into that a little bit more later, is that we provide you with access to all the data that first of all is onto our platforms, but we are also working on connecting our platforms towards other solutions, other data models that are used in various industries. So that makes it just easier for you to start using that, but also applying other data to that. Um, okay. Speaking of design thinking, because it seems to be the overarching topic also for today, obviously, how did we tackle this? And I think we took quite a similar approach as was mentioned earlier. So we basically went into our teams and we called it AI envisioning workshops, um, where we basically sit together, listen to the team. What is it that they're actually doing? What is it that they would love to be taken care of? But we also showed them real working examples. So we had AI cards prepared for that to already show the teams what is already achievable now. And that is also what I have been hearing from the other speakers, that it's so key to experience it, what it can do for you. And only if you have the team on board, then they start to talk about, okay, what else could we do in order to lift even more potential? And that is definitely a recommendation from our end. We did this with our teams. We did this also with some of our partners and customers. And we did identify, a whole bunch of use cases. And then, of course, we started to prioritize it. Okay, what is a low-hanging fruit we can achieve quick, like a quick win, or what is super important but takes more work. But that's then just the logical next step.